to my channel. This video is all about coffee. Should we drink it? Should we not drink it? For a long time, I was a huge coffee drinker. I started my day with coffee. I needed coffee a little bit later in the morning, and then I needed coffee again in the afternoon to get through the rest of my day. I knew it was always a crutch for me. I knew that it probably wasn't the best thing I could be doing for my body. Everything that I had changed in my life was to make it healthier, to go with a vegan diet, to change up my products, and yet there was always this one thing kind of catching me, and it was coffee. And I honestly thought, you know what, I'm probably just never gonna give this up. I don't drink, I don't do drugs. What's a cup of coffee? And that's totally valid point. Believe me, this video comes with zero judgment. I'm not saying drink coffee, I'm not saying stop drinking coffee. I just thought it was an interesting thing to talk about, something that I've always been kind of interested in, did a little bit more research, and wanted to present the options to you and see what you think. So if you were to Google online, is coffee good for you? You will come up with so many mixed articles about whether it's good for you or not. Obviously, there's tons of people who may be having paid studies saying, of course it's good for you and you should drink it all the time and you should have up to 6 cups a day because we're a coffee company and we're promoting this study. And then there's other people who say, no, it's bad for you, it's gonna cause this, this, and this. I just wanna get to a couple statistics. I will leave the information for where I got these statistics in the description below. If you're interested, you can read the full articles. It's definitely worth a read and to kind of get both sides of it to make up the best decision for yourself. So there are actually potential benefits for drinking coffee, for consuming coffee. An example of this is a study that I read about on nutritionfacts.org. For people infected with hepatitis C, drinking coffee actually may reduce DNA damage, increase the clearance of virus-infected cells, and actually slow the scarring process. And they say that this also might be linked to anybody with liver damage and coffee kind of helping that. So, okay, if you have those things, maybe coffee is good for you. This I found really interesting. There was a study done with patients who had Parkinson's and were given 2 cups of coffee a day, and actually over a 3-week period, their mobility and their physical movement was actually really helped by the coffee. But for people who are under 55, they've found that if you drink 6 cups of coffee a day or more, it will actually shorten your lifespan. So, something to think about. Coffee is definitely not for everyone. If you have glaucoma, if you have epilepsy, if you have any problems with acid reflux, this is only going to make your symptoms worse, and it's not that great for you. People who have trouble sleeping also might want to stay away from coffee, especially later in the day. Just 1 cup can cause some problems with the quality of sleep that you're going to get on those nights when you do have coffee. So I wanted to find out, is just a regular coffee drinker, maybe 1 or 2 cups a day, how is that affecting our bodies? Is it harmful? Is it helpful? Does it do anything at all? Coffee can boost your physical performance because it boosts adrenaline, which is that fight or flight hormone in your body, and kind of gets your body revved up to do more. So that's why a lot of people drink it before a workout. However, I think that if you're overdoing it with coffee all the time, your adrenal glands become really fatigued. You're actually way overtired, more than you think, and you're masking it by having more and more coffee. Coffee helps you stay alert and focused, and it brightens your mood, but all these are kind of like induced by this caffeine rather than what you would normally feel like. So I often wonder, is this a manufactured feeling or is it real? They say that suicide can be prevented 50% by drinking a couple of cups of coffee every day because of the mood boosting properties in it. There can be addiction associated with coffee, which I know firsthand, and when you listen to some people's addiction stories, it can actually be compared to almost like a mild drug withdrawal or even a regular drug withdrawal, depending on how much coffee they were having. I know for myself, becoming pregnant was the reason I stopped drinking coffee. It was really such a huge aversion to me. I still don't like the smell. The smell early on in my pregnancy was making me want to puke, and I just never thought that would happen, but I'm really happy it did happen because I finally kicked the habit. There's a really high acidity content to coffee, which is why if you have any acid reflux or any problems with like gastroesophageal issues and you know, stuff just coming back up and burning, the acidity in the coffee is no bueno for you. And also, I always found this really like kind of hypocritical or ironic about myself, is I'm doing all these things to add more alkalinity to my diet, and yet I'm kind of just counteracting that with the acidity of how much coffee I was drinking. Another thing I want to mention is that people today are not going around just drinking black filtered coffee with no sugar. People put so much in their coffees, it's become this kind of like fantasy kind of dessert time, and I totally get that because I love that too. Even though I would do coconut milk or soy milk or almond milk, you're still having all this processed sugar on top of your drinks, caramel, syrups, everything like that. This is really contributing to obesity. It's not just the coffee itself that is much of a problem, it's all these other things on top of it. I came across this really great article about coffee and some little known facts about it. I really think it's worth a read. I will link it in the description, but I just want to read a couple of things that stood out to me the most, and I just was like, wow, I've never heard that, and it's very, very kind of eye-opening. Caffeine is an alkaloid that coffee plants use to kill bugs, which eats its seed. The coffee plant also uses caffeine in the coffee pod to kill surrounding plants, so the coffee plant can attain more sunlight and grow larger. Caffeine is a pesticide which causes genetic termination in living cells that come in contact with it. So yikes, this is something that we've made a drink out of and has become a social experience, and it actually is something that the plant grows itself to ward off bugs. Brain imaging studies of chronic coffee drinkers showed that they presented the same degradation of their brains as chronic alcoholics, cigarette smokers, Parkinson's patients, and marijuana users. This is a big one. I definitely have heard this many times from a lot of health gurus, and I believe it to be true. Coffee causes fat gain and cellulite because by triggering the body's fight or flight system, which any poison or threat does, eventually changes the body's primary fuel source requirement to one of fat. When the body is threatened, it prefers fat as its primary fuel source over sugar or protein. Constant activation of the body's fight or flight system via the daily ingestion of caffeine poisons aids in metabolic shift to fat storage and fat conservation. Because again, the body prefers fat as a fuel source when fighting any toxic intruder. Because fat contains 9 calories per gram for the fight, as opposed to 4 calories per gram housed in sugar and protein, welcome to the land of coffee, caffeine-induced fat gain, weight gain, and cellulite. And something that it doesn't even mention is dehydration. Because coffee really just acts as a diuretic, it's going to dehydrate your skin, which leaves it less plump, and then also any kind of fat or cellulite is, more visible. Okay, so that is a lot of information and 100% up to you if you want to quit or not. But if you do want to quit, there are a couple things that I found in my experience quitting that were really helpful. So I just want to share them with you. I would say gradually cut down, especially if you drink a lot of coffee every single day. If you go cold turkey, you may feel absolutely crappy and awful for quite some time. So my first thing is to cut down slowly. So go from 3 cups to 2 cups to 1 cup to a half cup in the morning and see how it goes. After that, I would substitute out coffee with maybe something else. So for me, that was green tea. There's antioxidants in green tea. Still has a bit of caffeine, definitely not as much as coffee, and something that I kind of use to transition away from coffee. Once you quit coffee, you're going to be tired. You're going to realize how tired you've been for how many ever years you've been pushing yourself by having so much coffee. So give yourself time to rest. Allow yourself to have more time to sleep. Take a nap. Sleep longer at night. All these things are really, really helpful if you're going to kind of get through this withdrawal time. Exercise daily, because exercise brings blood flow to every area of the body, your brain. If you're dealing with any headaches, exercise is going to help with that too. And on the same note there, you want to make sure that you're nice and hydrated. Drinking a lot of water-rich foods, fruits, vegetables, leafy greens, watermelons, cucumbers, celery. Something that I used to help myself kind of just have more hydration was juicing, doing vegetable juice in the morning, having smoothies, doing fruit juices, eating full fruits. All of that is going to be really, really helpful in just getting over this time and keeping your full body nice and hydrated. Eat real foods. In addition to hydrating foods, make sure that you're actually eating. I was substituting meals with coffee, which is not healthy. You're gonna feel like maybe you're more hungry now because you don't have your coffee to suppress your appetite. But go ahead and eat real food. Have whole grains, have oatmeal, have things that are going to be substantial, beans, rice, lots of vegetables. All those things are going to help you kind of head in the right direction towards A, a healthier diet, but B, just getting away from the coffee and the acidity and all of the junk that comes with that. So there are are alternatives to coffee. For me, I just really miss that ritual of coffee, and I thought, what the heck can I do? I really enjoy having something warm and comforting and sweet, either in the morning or in the afternoon. What can I do to replace it? I've tried a lot of different things. For a long time, I was loving chai tea with homemade almond milk, and that was great. I was loving green tea on its own, and that was great. There are things called mushroom lattes, which are medicinal mushrooms like reishi, shiitake, turkey tail that are ground up into a powder, or either they're dried and you soak them in water for about 30 minutes, and you can make a latte with those. I had a mushroom latte at Cafe Gratitude in Los Angeles, and I was just blown away. It was so tasty and creamy and of course vegan and absolutely wonderful. I'm trying right now to figure out how to make that same concoction on my own in my own kitchen. Once I get that together, I will absolutely share it with you, because that for me seems like such a great alternative. Another alternative would just be herbal teas, or just drinking warm water with lemon in it. I know that doesn't sound very appetizing compared to coffee, but all these things do kind of help and are alternatives for you. Once I quit coffee, I felt so much better. Of course, that didn't happen overnight. The first 3 and 4 days, I'm not gonna lie, they're crap, and you just feel awful, and you are wondering when the heck this feeling will go away. But after that time, I feel so much better. I am alive and refreshed. When I wake up in the morning, I don't have that groggy, like, give me a cup of coffee because I can't talk to anyone and I just need that caffeine right away. I don't have that anymore, and I love that. So once again, this video is not to discourage you if you are a coffee drinker. If you're looking for a way to quit coffee, I hope that it is encouraging to you. I really don't want to place any judgment on anybody and where you are in your journey towards health. Because I get it, I totally get it. It may not be for everyone, but I'm so very happy with the decision that I made to quit coffee, and I hope this video was a little bit inspiring to you if you're trying to quit as well. Please go check out my new website if you haven't seen it already. It's bevegan.com. That's where you can check out and buy my new ebook, which has lots and lots of plant-based vegan recipes that are really good. Lunch, breakfast, dinner, all of that. That's all I'm going to say and plug for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you're not already. Give this video a thumbs up if you like this content and you want to see more kind of videos like this. Let me know down below what you want to see, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!